rules the desert sand.
Hmm?
Paul's visions good times hold. He who sees where futures unfold. Blue within blue eyes so bold. Destinies in spice foretold. Shifting sands are fate to find. In the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the queens that had a wreck, rising from the dust and back. Copters cutting through the sky. Harkonnens plotting spies to lie. Water's worth more than gold. Ancient secrets still untold. Shiny whispers dreams to thee. Bene Gesserit's prophecy. Fear the mind that's set free. In the shadows destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find. In the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the queens that had a wreck, rising from the dust and back. Dreams to thee, Bene Gesserit's prophecy. Fear the mind that's set free. In the shadows, destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find. In the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the queens that had a wreck, rising from the dust and bound. Beneath 10 suns on Arrakis land, firmament whispers in the wind so grand. Melange flows through every hand. Shai Hulud rules the desert sand. Paul's visions good times hold. He who sees where futures unfold. Blue within blue eyes so bold. Destinies in spice foretold. Shifting sands are fate to find. In the desert heat we leave behind.
Welcome back, everyone. Saturday night, Dune News Weekly, 16 November. Hoping to get a few people in the stream while we're waiting to start off the first article for the evening. If this is the first time visiting the channel, we are a dedicated Dune channel. Well, it's just me, but dedicated Dune entertainment channel. Discuss the movies, the books, really anything that's coming out. Dune merchandise, lore. I think I do a well-rounded job and I've done a pretty good job keeping it focused on Dune. So welcome to the channel, to the stream. How's everyone doing tonight? How is everybody? Got some interesting stories tonight. A lot of weird stuff going on with Dune Prophecy. I've seen all his early reviews. I've seen mixed reviews on it, honestly, because I guess some content creators and media sites got the first 4 episodes apparently sent to him, and I'm like, okay, but yeah. We'll be discussing those. We'll talk a little bit about the first article I have up right there. You can see it's going to be about Dune prophecy. And then a couple articles think they know about the setup, but I know more about it than they do. I've been reading some of them. I'm not trying to be, greater than thou, but I've seen a lot of inaccuracies in most of these articles because they keep referencing Sisterhood of Dune, but in reality, it seems like from what I've seen, a lot of it's going to reference Mentats of Dune. So we'll take that as a am I getting feedback here? We'll see. Hold on a second. I guess my room is echoing. Sounds like I'm getting feedback of some sort. Oh, I was. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, okay, that's why. My my speaker took over. Okay, well, I guess we're just gonna roll with it then. Why did my speaker take over? Why the heck? Oh, maybe that's the issue right there. There we go. I think I fixed it. There we go, folks. For whatever reason, my now we're back. We're back in business. I had some monitor feature running, so I kept hearing myself echoing. That's weird. You guys probably didn't even notice it. I don't really even need to have my headset on for this. Yeah, so welcome back after that quick little glitch, which you guys didn't even notice. Yeah, weird stuff going on, man, with Dune Prophecy. A lot of mixed reviews coming out. Some people are saying it's too dense, too much lore, too Dune-y. I don't know if that sounds bad. That sounds good to me. So I'll have my opinions on this. So we'll talk about it. I won't know for sure until we see that first episode. And I think I've said it in other videos before. My expectations for this, before I say my expectations on it, I've said it in the past. I think what people were thinking you're gonna get is more Dune Part 1, Part 2, grandiose special effects and all that. This is a TV show, folks. So I think Dune cinematically, the movies set a good high bar standard for movies. TV is something different, right? So the budgets are different, and of course this movie was made during COVID, or the show was made during COVID, so I think it had some issues with the first pilot. I think it got redone, or something happened with it where they had to redo it, scripting and all that. I don't know exactly what. I'm assuming they had to change some things because of licensing, and it's Denis Villeneuve's Dune focus being mostly on Bene Gesserit. For whatever reason, they think that showing the Spacing Guild is maybe it'll drive people away, because people don't understand the Spacing Guild. They're mutated like monsters. They're humans, but they're mutated by spice. So now they're all like they did a Dune 1984 movie did a good job of showing what they look like. They're this mangled freaking frog creature looking things now. So maybe they didn't want to show that to drive away normies. I don't know. And focus more on Bene Gesserit. I mean, Denis Villeneuve has said his favorite part of Dune was the Bene Gesserit. and all that kind of stuff. So that's, he said that. So I think maybe they're going off. So I've heard there's barely any spacing guild in this show. So of course we haven't seen, I guess these people haven't seen episodes 5 and 6. I haven't seen any of them. So we're gonna see episode 1 tomorrow night. And are we getting any chatter? No chat. What do you guys think? I mean, who here, put in the chat. Are you gonna watch the episode 1 tomorrow night? Put a 1 for yes, 2 you're not gonna, or just put no. Put a yes or no in the chat right now if you're going to watch Dune Prophecy tomorrow night. Let me know. I supposedly have 3 people watching, so I have no clue. Let's dump this into real quick before we get to that first article. I'm kind of spitballing here. If you had Max, you would watch it. Yeah. If you have AT&T, I think Max is free. I'm actually about to go turn off a lot of channels. I'm turning off Netflix. I turned off Hulu. I have Paramount Plus, which I thought Yellowstone was on that, but it's not. So I'm going to turn that off. I don't even know how you watch. What's the best way to watch Yellowstone on Peacock? Philo is considered one of the cheaper. Yeah, right there. Peacock. You have to watch Yellowstone on Peacock. Yeah, so I gotta go turn off a bunch of stuff. I've just been. Well, you don't need to watch Dune Part 2 to watch this show. This show is it takes place 10,000 years before Dune. You'll get actually a history lesson on the Bene Gesserit. But Silent Harper, thanks for tuning in, though. Really do on the Twitch. On the Twitch. I appreciate that, actually. Yeah, Dune Part 2, it's definitely a great movie. I don't know why. Is it only on? Let's see. How can you watch Dune Part 2? I own 2 copies of the Blu-ray, 4K, and then I have it on like Vudu on demand, and I have like 4 or 5 different versions of it. So I got the Steelbook. I got 2 copies of the Steelbook, Dune Part 2, because I have one I opened and one I kept sealed. So, only Max at the moment. 1 is now on Prime. Really? Yeah. Of course, I saw Dune Part 1 in the theaters 3 times. 3 times for both, I think. Maybe only twice. Maybe I only watched it twice theaters for Dune Part 1. It came out, you remember, Dune Part 1 came out on streaming the same day it came out on theaters. I watched it twice in theaters, and then I bought it on demand, which was already free too, but I wanted to own it. So I watched it a bunch. And then Dune Part 2, Dune Part 2 I watched opening night with my brother and stuff. But then I watched it again. I saw it twice. No, I watched it 3 times in theaters. I watched Dune Part 2 3 times in theaters, and then, of course, I've watched it numerous times. I got the 4K now. So, the original Dune I watched when I was a kid on TV when that came out. So that's how I got into Dune, actually. And the video games. And I never read the books till I was older, actually. Interesting enough. Yeah, I've been a huge Dune fan as far as the shows and the movies go my entire life, and the video games, and that the books rose later on when I got older. I didn't really read a lot when I was a kid. I I was a bad student, so I found ways not to read. Like I would read like kiddie. Like I remember in like 5th grade, I was supposed to do book reports on like 5th grade level books, but I would try to read like easy 3rd grade level books, and the teacher would call me out. Oh, those are too easy of a book. You have to read a better book. And I was like, dang it. But anyways, yeah, I was a bad student, and when I was a little kid, I didn't want to. I wanted to have fun. I didn't want to do work. And later on, I ended up being good at school and studying when I got older. Let's see. But I'm still waiting for. Oh, we got 4 people in here. Who we got? Same. Went to find old MS-DOS version of the game. Watch the replay. Yeah, I just did a live stream week ago, 2 weeks ago, of Dune Sega CD retro. So check out my channel if you haven't followed me on YouTube. So if you like Dune stuff, my channel on YouTube is all Dune. So just go to the Arrakis Central, follow the link in there. Yeah, go throw me a sub on there. But I have tons of Dune stuff on there. All my videos are Dune. That whole channel is Dune. Lore, video games, board games, collectibles, merchandise. I review everything. Heck, I got silver coins that are Dune coins from the movie, like real silver. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff on videos on there. I got like 300 something videos of Dune stuff. A lot of our shorts too. Lore, everything. I go deep into the prequel books, which is what this show is based on. Yeah, so if you guys are just here now, check out my YouTube. My YouTube is mainly this Twitch channel you're watching from is going to be for when Dune Awakening comes out. When Dune Awakening comes out, I'll be live streaming the video game on here. So, on all platforms. I'm on TikTok too, but I don't do much on there. A little bit. So I guess we'll jump straight into this first article before I get into my opinions of these early reviews. I usually get on tangents. I usually say I'm going to not talk long, but then I get down in the weeds of it. So I'm gonna swig of water before we get into this. So if you don't know, if you are just tuning in, Dune Prophecy, loosely based on Sisterhood of Dune, so which is a book, 2012 book. The prequel books are written by Frank Herbert's son. So Frank Herbert, the author of Dune, his son Brian Herbert wrote all these books in conjunction with another gentleman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And it's basically the beginning of the Dune, not necessarily beginning, but the beginning of where it matters, really. The early, so. Oh, you're talking about, real quick, the beta stuff? I have no clue, man. I'm signed up just like everybody else. I've been signed up for over a year. I think that beta stuff is very random. They even said it's just a lottery. No, you won't get an email. I've signed up. They say it doesn't hurt you to re-sign up again, just to confirm it. It just, if you spam it is when they'll start. Like if you do it like 20 times in a row or something. So you can go click those links and go re-sign up for it. It won't hurt you. I don't think it will ruin your place. There's no like a line. I don't know how they're selecting. I don't know if they're running it through a program and it just selects random people. Yeah, the beta, I don't think they'll do an open beta. They'll do an open beta probably, more than likely. It might not be till after January, but they'll do an open beta. Yeah, that's the way it is with these things, man. I don't know why they didn't do an early access buy-in. I did that for a lot of games. And they could have still did the NDA thing, an early access buy-in with NDA. Dude, people would pay money. People would pay. Look how much people pay for frickin' Star Citizen. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess they're just so worried about the jankiness getting out and the testing that they just want to keep it quiet, I guess, until it's better. It's probably server stuff that's the big issue. Like so many people on a server. That kind of just, I'm guessing. I'm totally guessing. I have no idea. I have no insider information. Nothing. Because I would get in trouble if I actually did and said it. But I have no idea. I never made a game before, so I have no clue. But I do have IT experience, so because that's my real world job, so I know about some stuff. But yeah, but as far as game development, I have no clue. I'm going on a tangent here. Like I said, man, you guys always get me on tangents. Hey, I'll react to you guys. Keep asking questions and saying stuff in the chat. I'll talk about it, honestly. But I'll read your. I'll go to your comments before I read my article. Yeah, did you get an email earlier about like saying, hey, sign up now? Did you get that one where I think it was a couple weeks ago where it was like, sign up now, or yay, we're expanding. Hey, it's Sir PSG, JAG, whatever. Are you on the Discord? You need to join the Discord. The Dune Awakening Discord. I don't know if you're on there or not, because that's where I usually hang out on there all the time, talking to people. It's fun. All these people are talking. I'm on the Discord right now while I'm on this live stream reading it. They're talking about the folks on there are talking about Arcane, and then getting into they're trying to get into League of Legends. People were talking about. Man, the problem I have with those League of Legends kind of games and Dota 2 is that it's really cool for like a little while, and then I get my butt kicked over and over and over again, like 20 matches in a row, and then I'm like, this ain't fun. It's like Magic the Gathering Online, same thing. Like, or Pokemon Online, those card games, same kind of thing. I just get destroyed. So then I give up. Same thing with Dota, those MOBAs. I get destroyed. So, surprisingly, been doing well on Call of Duty Black Ops lately for whatever reason. Like, I usually suck at the shooters, but I've been doing okay. Like, not horribly, not the best, but I kill people a lot, about equally with how much I die. So to me, that's good. But yeah, getting off topic. The closed beta, you just have to be patient, and there's no guarantee you'll even get into it, and then you just have to wait, man. We're all waiting for a possible maybe open beta. Dude, I'll let you know. Get a little of this. I'm part of the creator program for Funcom. Like because I had over 5,000 subs on my YouTube. The creators don't even get an invite to these things. And you're like, kind of like, I'm making videos every day promoting the game. So it's like, you don't even get an invite, which is, to me, that's weird. It seems like they would want their creators in there. So I guess they just, obviously, they don't want nothing coming out about it. That's what the NDA is for, obviously. Because maybe there's code in there, maybe people could get. Maybe they're worried about that. Maybe it's got to be more than just like, hey, the server crashes in the game all the time. It has to be more than that. It has to be maybe they have access to seeing more stuff than they want rival companies to know. Maybe something like that, possibly. You know, it could be a intellectual property type. I can't even talk tonight. Maybe something like that, I'm guessing. But yeah, we'll get into this. So Dune prophecy, 10,000 years before the events of Dune, Paul Atreides, all that. The beginnings of Dune. So what happens is, if you think of year zero, so to speak, if we call that the Butlerian Jihad, which is humanity is enslaved by robots, AI, thinking machines, they're called. Human thinking, or not, they're called not human thinking machines or mentats, but the thinking machines. So 20 freaking humans, warlord kind of people. Just think of them as like globalists, but it's universal space thing. They want to control all of humanity. So they corrupt the AI systems that help humanity, and then those AI become the omnious super AI computer thinking machine, like basically Overmind. And so before that, it's just like a tool. AI is used by humans. The Psymech, not Psymech, they're not Psymechs yet. The Titan guys, these 20 people, they're like basically globalist human, Bill Gates types, George Soros types. They want to control humanity, so they corrupt the AI, And then AI slaves all of humanity. They are kind of like overlords. Time goes on, their bodies start getting old. They want to live forever, so they put their brains in canisters. In like these canisters, they go and they put them in robots. So then they're cyborgs, essentially called Cymex, the bad humans, and they're kind of controlling AI to enslave humanity. It gets out of hand. They lose control of the AI, so they're basically kind of sidelined, and the AI kind of takes over, controlling everything, all the planets, all the systems, all that. There's a couple free planets out there. Seleucus Secundus, one of them, because they had Holtzman technology, which is Holtzman is the guy who creates the shields, the technology, the folding space drives, the faster than light travel, all that stuff, right? So that guy's technology is, well, they had faster than light before that, but that's a different story. Because you got to understand, in Dune, they had faster than light technology. Okay. And which means they still take 6-7 months, whatever, to fly to another system, because you're going faster multiples of light, but it's still slow. So what people don't understand in Dune is that they have that technology, and then folding space tech, point-to-point jump, is what you see in Dune, essentially. Why they need spice. Back then, they used AI computers to do it. Supercomputers, right? We'll get into that in a minute. I know I'm just yapping here. But going back to the beginning, AI enslaves humanity, except for a handful of star systems or planets that stay free. The rest of humanity, billions, and I don't even know how many, it's billions and billions and billions of people enslaved. They're like basically turned into like cavemen and slave pens used for manual labor, all that. And then the Omnius Overmind, he has a kind of a Dr. Mengele, almost free thinking kind of AI guy called Erasmus. He was just a drone bot at one point. He fell into a crevasse or something on a planet somewhere and got trapped there for like 100 years or something. He was an AI kind of bot. And so he's trapped there. He's disconnected from their network, the wireless network, so to speak. And he starts creating his own circuitry, his own thought patterns, his own stuff, and he becomes like kind of autonomous in a weird way. He finally gets found and rescued by other AI, brought back into the fold, but then Omnius is like, oh, very interesting. He has kind of his own circuitry now, so he can be kind of somewhat free thinking, so to speak. He becomes like a sicko scientist experimenting on humans, Erasmus. He's a key figure in the prequel books. So these books, this gets you to the point of the Butlerian Jihad books. So you have the first 3 books: Butlerian Jihad, Machine Crusade, and then Battle of Corin, which is the first 3 in the trilogy of the Brian Herbert kind of story, which is how humanity basically starts the rebellion against the AI to overthrow it and wipe it out. During this story, we learn about the first Atreides, Vorian Atreides. We learn about the Harkonnens, how they were actually a noble family on Seleucus Secundus. They're one of the main royal families kind of running things. I won't go into too in depth, but essentially Harkonnens are one of the most good guy, so to speak, noble families at the time. Vorian Atreides is the son of the lead Cymac. Remember I told you about those cyborg bad guys? That the lead one, Agamemnon, made a genetic offspring of himself, still a human form, like a test tube baby. It's Vorian Atreides. The first Atreides is a bad guy. So he's kind of doing errands for the AI, but he's a human in the beginning, and he has life extension. So he lives for like 1,000 years or whatnot. Getting past that, Serena Butler, where you get the term Butlerian, she gets captured by Erasmus, the AI thinking machines. she's nobility. She's supposed to marry one of the Harkonnens. The Butlers are basically what the Carino are later. They changed their name. But she gets captured. She's pregnant by one of the Harkonnens, and she's supposed to get married, but she gets captured, and then she gets basically mentally tortured. Then her baby is born. I believe the baby is Mannion. Erasmus gets jealous because he's basically, most humans he's ever interacted with are just kind of stupid, brainless kind of cattle. And then he meets her, a noble, smart, basically a cerebral mind person, and he's basically enamored by her and in the conversations with her because she's just on par and as smart as an AI thinking machine. Of course, he's evil, and then he's experimenting on people, murdering people in front of her, all kinds of stuff. And then he gets jealous and throws her son off of the balcony on Earth in his little experimental palace place. She freaks out, and then she pushes a AI guard drone bot over the balcony, and then all the humans that are slaves and the slave pins below. This is kind of a watered down version of it, but there's more going on behind the scenes. But they see it. They see the baby get killed, and then they see her fight back and push one of the guards bots off over the drones over the balcony, and it falls and smashes, and they basically start freaking an uprising on Earth. She is Vorian Atreides at this time, basically falling in love with her, kind of, because he's been interacting with her, because we're still working for the AI at that time. He changes sides, helps her escape with this other guy, Iblis Ginjo, which is this human zealot kind of guy he's also a slave, but he's basically, you find out later, he has kind of powers like Bene Gesserit, light kind of powers, so he can persuade people with his voice, and he doesn't even realize it. He's a bad guy, but he's a sicko, but he's human. But they all escape back to Lucis Secundus, and then the humans revolt. They get away on his ship, Vorian Atreides' ship, because he turns against the AI and his dad. And then basically Siamex, they're like these giant walking machines with human brains in it. Like I told you before, they come down, help the AI, wipe out all the humans. They get the order, hey, Earth, humans are bad, so wipe them out. So they basically genocide all humans on Earth that are slaves there. They get back to Lucis Secundus. They basically, she pleads her case. We need to stand up now, wipe out the AI. We need to make a message to the AI thinking machines. Vorian said, I'll lead a fleet. At first, I think he's held in captivity because they don't trust him. Then he says, hey, take me to, I know all the defenses or whatnot. Let's go back to Earth. We're going to make an example of Earth. So they lead a whole fleet full of nuke boats, like cruisers and frigates and battle cruisers and stuff. They go there. The AI don't really think, oh, they're not going to do anything to us. They go there, instead of trying to liberate it, they just nuke the whole planet into oblivion with nuclear torpedoes and stuff from space. So Earth basically gets turned into a lifeless rock because the EMP is the only way to kill AI. So that's basically how it starts, the revolt. From there on, the books continue. You have this goes back and forth between the AI and the humans striking each other. Norma Senva, she's basically a protege of Theo Holtzman. Holtzman's a jerk. I think he's a slave owner and all that stuff too on this one planet. Because at this time humans take slaves too still. And he's basically just a complete jerk, jealous of Norma as this lady. Her mom's basically a superior sister of it's not the Bene Gesserit yet. It's called the Sisterhood. Sisters. She's basically an inventor. She was a trolley looking kind of frumpy offspring of her. So the mom, who's a sister, she's like, okay, shuns her away. She goes and she's really smart, so she perfects Theo Holtzman's tech behind his back, and she perfects the glow globes and all the stuff. That she perfects the folding space drives, everything, right? and he's jealous and all this stuff. And the shields too. She comes up with a shield modulation for their capital ships, because before they have to drop shields to fire their lasers and weapons. You can't fire through shields. So she comes up with the modulation where they essentially fire through shields, but they just turn off for a split second after each fire salvo or whatever. So the AI don't have that, so they can't go up against that. That's one thing that she helps with. Come to find out, since her mom was that hardcore sister, Bene Gesserit, so to speak, she had powers too, latent powers. So later down the road, she gets captured by a Cymex, and she gets tortured to the point, but due to the torturing, it releases her dormant powers, and she becomes one of the most powerful psychic Bene Gesserit, so to speak. They're called sisterhood, and she essentially can remake herself, repair her body, and all the stuff, and she's very psychically powerful. And then moving forward during those first 3 books, she discovers that, so the Butlerians start off, at least they get started. That Iblis Ginjo guy I mentioned earlier, he starts the fanatic cult, the Butlerians, to be religious fanatics, anti-technology fanatics. So that starts spreading in order to fight the machines. And they have the Gna sword masters. They train in how to defeat the AI. So their specialty is destroying robots, AI, combat bots, with a combination of blunt sword weapons and shields. They use their shields, personal shields. They just become experts at getting close on how to destroy these bots. So one of them actually is an ancestor to Duncan Idaho. That's why he's so good at sword fighting later on. But that's a side issue. So that's how those guys specialize in that. The Gna Swords Masters, which is what Duncan Idaho is. But that's way down the line. Doesn't matter at this point. Then, going back to the 3 books, the Norma Senva, the first essentially powerful, one of the most powerful, well, she was dormant. She was frumpy, loser, nerdy, gets tortured, like I said, brings her latent powers off. Then her mom, like, oh, I knew she plays stupid. Like, I knew it was in you. She's hated her. She treated her like crap, but that's a side issue. Because the sisterhoods at this time, the only defense they have against the cyborgs, the ones with the human brains, is a psychic blast, right? That destroys the brain in the capsule. That's the only way you can kill them, really. Their weapons are pretty much useless against them. But it kills the sister when she uses the attack. So it's one shot, one kill, boom, and then her brain blows up and she dies. So that's the issue with the sisters right now. They can only be used once they use their power. So that's kind of the precursor to the Bene Gesserit. And what happens is Norma Senva, she discovers, because they're banning AI now during the war, they're starting to ban AI computers. So humans can't use them anymore. So she figures out that you can put yourself in spice gas. The spice is already well known as a drug at this point. It's not known for space and guild navigators. Those aren't around yet. So she figures out, if I put myself in spice gas, it elevates my consciousness to the point where I can make all the deep space calculations myself. We don't need a computer anymore. So she essentially turns herself into the first space guild navigator. So the Norma Senva, the smart scientist who turned into it. So she's not only... So the first Space and Guild navigator is essentially a Bene Gesserit woman, which is pretty interesting. This is all from the books, guys. I'm not making this up. So that's one key factor in there. Fast forward, I'm leaving. There's too much to cover in those books, but essentially, spice also gets found out that it extends life. It can cure viruses and stuff, because Erasmus is testing all these things on humans, He takes a slave human boy in the pen, makes him smart, gives him life extension, then raises him to be really smart, almost like a human AI. And you guess where I'm going with that? The first Mentat, yes, was the son of the AI thinking machine, essentially, so to speak. And that was I just read it in the book where he gets killed. Why can't I think of his dang name? Gilbraltus. Yeah. So Gilbraltus is the first Mentat. He goes on to start the first Mentat school, right? So I don't know if they're going to talk about Mentats in this show or not, but a lot of the origins of the current or the future Imperium, they come from directly from AI in a weird way, right? So it's pretty interesting. I think I like that. I like that's kind of funny. And the Harkonnens were the awesome good guys in the beginning. Vorian was the bad guy, so Atreides were no Paladin. Atreides were never evil. He was not an evil guy. He ends up being the victor of humanity. Because what happens is his best friend was the Harkonnen, Xavier Harkonnen, that was supposed to marry the Serena Butler, but then she can't have kids and all this other stuff now. Anyways, she becomes like the zealot on the jihad, the Butlerian jihad against the thinking machines. Those two are best friends. They find out that Iblis Ginjo guy, the zealot for the Butlerians, he's basically been working behind the scenes to like arterial motives, and they figure out, oh, this guy is basically evil, and they got to get rid of him. So Xavier Harkonnen flies that guy into his son along with him and sacrifices himself to get rid of that guy. But the Imperium doesn't see it that way. They see him as he killed their greatest kind of leader guy, right? But Vorian's like, no, you don't understand. He was bad, but nobody really believes him. Basically, he was trying to like do things to sacrifice. He didn't care. He just wanted the power and all that kind of thing, standard stuff. He didn't care really who. He actually made a deal with one of the Simex too behind the scenes. So he was kind of working with the machines there too at the end in a weird way, but that was in secret. But Juno, she gets blown up by Juno, right? Was that her name? One of the Simex comes back from deep space, and then she ends up getting blasted by psychic energy. I can't remember. Does she get blasted when what's her face gets captured? I think Norma Senba. I can't remember. Yeah, because when she unleashes her powers earlier, I was talking about, she releases this energy and it blows all their brain canisters up. So that's how she escapes. But that was a side issue. Yeah. So Vorian Atreides then takes the fleet. Cut straight to the end. He takes a massive fleet. They finally corner the AI enough to where they get him to the last stronghold. And it's funny because in the before they really have the good folding space drives going, they have to fly faster than light travel, and the AI can go faster because they don't have to worry about speed and inertia and all the space mechanics. Because they're not human, they can just go as fast and fast. They can go faster a little bit, because it talks about that. So you have limitations for humans, how fast they can go, or else your body's freaking crumple or whatever. But they finally do beat the AI. They beat the Simex. Vorian Atreides pretends like he's gonna go join his dad again and become a Simex, then he totally backstabs him and they get wiped out. It's a pretty good scene. The fleet goes on. Abelard, the next Harkonnen, he felt disgraced. He changed his name, but then he changes it back to Harkonnen. He goes with Vorian on the main fleet to go to attack the final planet of Corrin, which is the AI stronghold. And the AI puts all these humans in a space bridge, so to speak, in container ships and stuff in orbits, because they basically would have to blow through them to get to the AI on the planet. They call their bluff. Vorian's gonna fire through all of them, and then Abelard Harkonnen sabotages because he's like, no, you can't kill all those humans. But Vorian Atreides is like, sorry, brother, we have to kill these AI at all costs. We have to get rid of them, or else we're done for, no matter the cost. So he's gonna blow through all the spy, or the slaves, the human slaves. And so Abelard Harkonnen goes into the main fire control central room of the fleet, which is on the main flagship, sabotages it so he can't do the fire command, the automated fire command. So he gets caught for basically becoming a traitor, so to speak, even though he's really just trying to save the humans, but he gets locked up. Of course, the humans they defeat the AI. Gilbrathus is on that planet, Corrin, the guy I talked about earlier that was raised by the evil Erasmus. But Erasmus basically, he takes his memory gel sphere, and then he basically Gilbrathus acts like he's a slave that gets freed and keeps Erasmus safe, the memory core. But everything else gets wiped out. The Omnius, Overmind, everything gets wiped out. And in fact, I think Erasmus sabotages them. If I remember correctly in the book, he sabotages the Omnius to save Gilbrathus, because he starts feeling something for the sun, even though he's a machine. So that's how that pretty much ends. Then Harkonnen, Abelard Harkonnen, has a tribunal after the final battle. Vorian was pissed at him, but then they wanted to execute him, and he was like, no, don't kill him, though. Just banish him to the planet Lankavale. So he gets banished, and then generation after generation of Harkonnens now blames the Atreides for their poor, crappy lives in the banishment, even though he did it, right? So that's the stupid part. So this is where the book pretty much ends. Serena Butler was killed, basically sacrificing herself to martyr her in a weird way. So the Iblis Ginjo was going to martyr her, but then she ends up doing it anyway. She gets martyred anyways. I don't remember the exact details in that part. Her little niece, I think it is, her sister. No, it's not. It's a niece of her. Not Serena. It's there's a different Harkonnen, or a Carino Butler girl that becomes like basically carries the mantle for the Butlerian anti-tech jihadis, and then that's who later on the main guy who loses his legs, Manfred, I think it's Manfred Horrendous, or I can't pronounce his name. He's like this hardcore anti-technology guy that's just murdering people left and right, doesn't care. He has no legs because his legs got blown up when someone tried to kill the other Butlerian girl, which was she survived the virus attack and lost all her hair. But her name was dude, every live stream I forget her name. But yeah, I've gone over this already. Hey, I'm surprised you guys are still listening. But that's where we get to that point of the next 3 books, which is Sisterhood of Dune, Mentats of Dune, Navigators of Dune, which is what the show is based on. But it's not. This show takes place like 50 or 30, 40 years later after those books, because they're older now. In the books, they're young. So yes, I'm gonna live stream Stalker 2. Yeah, when that comes out, but on my other channel probably. So there's like 6 books really you would need to read if you wanted to really know everything for Dune Prophecy. But you know, I think the way they're gonna do the show is you don't have to do that. So we get to the point after. I don't want. So some of the stuff. There's going to be flashbacks to the books. Okay? So I'm not going to try and spoil anything today. But this takes place essentially. So the books start about 80 to 90 years after the end of the Machine War. Okay? And then the show is going to be about 40 years after those books. So they're older now. So they're young. They're like in their 20s. Valia Harkonnen, her sister, she's actually only like 18 or something. But she's like 20, 4 or something in the books. And obviously here she's old. So this takes place after the books. So I'm guessing this is a new story that we don't know. So the story in the show is not going to be directly from the books. It's a new story that happens later on with Javico, Emperor Javico, which is the son of Roderick, which is the other current Emperor Salvatore's. In the book, it's Emperor Salvatore Carino is in charge of the empire. His brother's Roderick, his right-hand man, like the hand of the king, so to speak. And then Javico is the son. So this is years later when the son is now the emperor, the show. So yeah. A lot of stuff goes on in the next 3 books too. So I probably should just do a whole like long lore video of those 6 books. Just one long hour-long just like lore video, cool video with like music. That's what I'm working on. It's just there's so much going on in those books that it's hard to really put it all. I mean, you could, but yeah. And so those are all the brainchild of Brian Herbert. I like the books. I think they're freaking awesome, but a lot of people don't like them because they're not necessarily Dune-y. Like, you know, Dune's the first Dune book is very, what's the word? I won't say old-fashioned, but it really conveys better, I think, actually, even than the later books, how anti-technology the era is. They're very analog, and that's on purpose. Right? So you're going to learn why in the Butlerian Jihad stuff, why they've wiped out all technology. And of course, you know, Frank Herbert had that very nice way of writing that was weird, almost less detail, but it was more detail. It's hard to explain. Those of you who read the Dune book, the original Dune, he had this very good way of world building without having to tell you every little thing. And that's different than, you know, the Brian Herbert books are more descriptive and very modern science fiction-y book, so to speak, where they kind of explain every little thing, which is kind of a modern book thing. Whereas in Dune was more of a, you know, it just tells the story, so to speak. It doesn't have to go too nitty-gritty into every little detail of every little thing. And it leaves it up to the reader to figure it out. You know, that's kind of good. It's kind of just focus on that story at that time. Paul Atreides and his journey, right? Whereas in the prequel books, it's jumping planets, star systems, different characters. It's all over the place. Very, very rich in information. So, like a lot more technical data, I should say. So, yeah, it's a lot more going on. So that's why I'm wondering, man, it's hard to make this show. It really is. So if they, you know, we're gonna get into it right now in a minute. We're gonna talk about some of the stuff, but everything I just talked about kind of gets us to the point of where this show is gonna start. And it'll take another 30 minutes to explain the Sisterhood of Dune and Mentats of Dune book. I think Mentats was my favorite. Mentats of Dune, I think, was better than Sisterhood. And then Mentats is you get more juicy information in it. From the trailer I've seen for Dune Prophecy, it almost looks like it references Mentats of Dune more than it does Sisterhood of Dune, honestly. So that's why they keep saying Sisterhood of Dune, but it's not. It looks like it's talking way more about Mentats of Dune. So that's why I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, so this first article, man, we just got... Now I guess we're starting the show. I did my little rant. I hope you guys are still listening. Man. Dude, it's been an hour and I haven't even started the episode yet. So here we go. So much information. As you guys can tell, I'm big into the books. So, Dune Prophecy warns us about charismatic leaders and killer AI. Okay, so that's, yeah, everything I just told you, right? So, the HBO prequel still in the vast universe of Dune, but has our own galaxy in mind too. What does that mean? What? Dune Prophecy brings us right back to the sprawling universe of Dune, because Dune's in... Oh, I didn't even mention Dune's all in the books, because they have to get spies. Before any Atreides hangs out in Dune for a while. You meet in the first book. I didn't even mention the Zinsuni wanderers are the Salim Worm Rider. The book has the first Fremen, the Ride of Worm, all kinds of stuff in those books. So there's a lot of stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of great information in the books, but they're not necessarily written like stylish. The style isn't the same as honestly as Frank Herbert's style, where it's kind of stylized. You know what I'm saying? But there's less information, but it's hard to explain. That's why a lot of people don't like the prequel books, because it's not the same style. Essentially, I like all of them, so I take it for what it is. And it's nice going into the show knowing everything, right? So that's some of the. We'll get into that in a minute. It seems like some of the complaints on these early reviews are it's too much information, and yeah, that's all I can say is sucks to be you if you don't know what the heck's going on in here, because this is awesome stuff. Let's see here. Dune and its mega hit movie. Okay, we know. But the sparing between great houses, the shadowy conspiracies of powerful women. Okay, space and drugs. Immediately feel familiar. Space drugs? Not really. The HBO series, which premieres Sunday, doesn't just deepen the lore of Denis Villeneuve's 2 Dune movies. It seems to have our own world in mind, too. No, because Earth is destroyed. And say its politics and its technology, where a few interesting things have been going on. I think Dune is they're probably talking about AI. See, I hate this comparison. Like, I can't stand this, dude. We have to compare this to our modern world. No, you don't. Why can't we just let it be its own thing? You know what I'm saying? You can't compare it to our modern world at all. Dune Prophecy mainly focuses on the sisterhood, which is, yeah, that's true. The books, all 3 books are kind of mixed, honestly. So they jump around to all factions. That's why it's kind of interesting. And from what I heard, this show does that, so that's good. It's not like Sisterhood of Dune, the book. You're not just with the sisterhood the whole time. You're jumping everywhere in that book. There's like 5 different characters you're talking to in that, jumping around to all the time. So hopefully the show does that. It'd be boring just to sit with the sisterhood the whole time. Even though they do a lot in the first book, kind of. They're not. The problem with the books, though, too, is the sisterhood. The sisters in the book, the parts with the sister, they're really not doing much action. Like 0. A little bit, barely in there. Most of the actions happen on different characters, different stuff. Like you're talking about the Venport Holdings guy, Joseph Venport, the Balerians, Borean Atreides. They're the ones kind of dealing with the action of the books, while the Sisterhood is more of the intrigue and the who takes the poison and who becomes a Reverend Mother and all that kind of thing. And there's other stuff out. There's a big spoiler, which I'm assuming this is gonna be the big reveal in this show. I'm assuming what the big reveal is going to be in this show. I don't know. I've already said it in other live streams. I kind of already know what it's going to be. I'm guessing at the end of one of the episodes, it's going to be dun dun dun. That big thing is going to be what they reveal, and I'm like, oh, okay, I saw that coming. I'm guessing. I don't want to ruin the show. Yeah. So moving on to this article. So this article, while the show primarily focuses on early days of sisterhood, it also spends a great deal of time with House Carino, which the books do. Actually, I would say even in some cases, Mentats of Dune, you're spending more time with the Carinos in that book than with the Sisterhood, I'm thinking. We also meet some members of House Harkonnen. At least that's the vibe I got, if I remember correctly. House Atreides is not even really a thing yet, guys. So, that's what people need to understand. House Atreides in those books, essentially, there's Atreides offspring on Caladan because Vorin Atreides was knocking some boots with a bar maiden and started a whole offshoot of Atreides kids, grandkids, and all this stuff. And then he bounces out and goes to a different planet and starts a family there. And then Kepler the other planet. So, but they're just like well off fishermen and stuff. They're rich, but they're not like the ruling house at this time. So Atreides is on the up and coming. Because Vorian, oh man, I wish I could tell you guys. Vorian Atreides feels bad that he banished the Harkonnens and made their life horrible. And I'll talk about that tomorrow night, I think, because I'm gonna do a pre-show live stream. So stick around tomorrow night. You put your bell notifications on. Go to my YouTube or on Twitch here, and make sure you have notification on, because I'm gonna go live about 6:37 tomorrow night. Pre-show, maybe 7, because the show starts for me 8 Central. So I'm gonna do a pre-show, quick, back history, the immediate history of those Sisterhood books, and then get people prepped up, and then I'm gonna go watch the episode and do a post-show to kind of review and see if I like it or not. So we're gonna find out tomorrow if we like the episode or not, or we like the show. So it could suck. I'll watch the whole thing, but never. I mean, it could suck. Like people were. I've seen some reviews where they don't like it. They said it's too lore filled, which for me, I like that. So I don't know. If it's just a lot of exposition and intrigue and political stuff and a lot of lore, a lot of different families doing this faction, that faction, I'll be happy with it. I don't say it's got to be Dune Part 1 and Part 2 level greatness. I'm just looking for a good 6, 7 out of 10 show, guys. I'll keep my expectations, at a medium here. So I'm not expecting the best show. It ain't gonna, dude. We already know this show ain't gonna be like Penguin, which is a great show, right? So we know that. So I'm not gonna be freaking out if it's not doing every little thing I want, And if it's not action every episode, it's because the books are not. So don't expect to like. You'll probably get a little bit. It's gonna be mostly sneaking around, intrigue, and plotting, and all this kind of stuff. That's really what's gonna be. Let's see. If you've read the Dune novels, which I have, you're well equipped to understand everything that's happening. Yes, I am. But you don't need to have read any of the Herbert's 6 Dune books to feel caught up. Yeah, because this is 10,000 years before. You really don't need to read any of them. You don't even have to see Dune Part 1 or Part 2 to watch this show, because this happens before him. As the Game of Thrones spin-off House of Dragon, which I didn't like season 2. I thought it was kind of I got lost interest. It was fine. I just kind of lost interest in it. I'm not a big Game of Thrones guy, dude, because Game of Thrones season 8 was so bad. Like, I was just I didn't really see a reason to watch House of the Dragon. But I just kind of lost interest in the second season. Penguin, they even talk about the Penguin right here, guys. We know how Bene Gesserit came about. No, we don't know. We know who they are, but we don't know how they came about. Yeah, this show's gonna tell us, which they kind of are telling us, but not really. But yeah. And like the Penguin, the recent HBO spin-off of the show's 2022 films, The Batman, this show exists on its own, exploring an unfamiliar corner of the fictional universe. You see new worlds. Boom, Wallach 9. You see Wallach 9 was the new Sisterhood planet. The original Sisterhood planet was called Rossack. It was a jungle planet. Wallach 9 is more rockier, I think. And Rossack was where there was a standoff between Emperor Salvador and the Sisterhood, and he kills like 10 of them. He splits up the Sisterhood. That's in the Sisterhood of Dune book. And some of them split off to go be loyalists to the Emperor. Some of the sisters run away and set up shop on Wallach 9, the new planet. So that's where we're gonna see. And I even saw Raquel, Mother Superior Raquel, I think in the trailer. So I already know what's gonna happen with that. Oh yeah, I already know what's gonna happen in the show, guys. The flashbacks. I mean, they probably change a little bit of stuff. The water simplified a little bit, but I'm surprised you guys are still watching. I appreciate it. So Shapker first got involved with Prophecy. I think she's the main director, showrunner, and she did some good. She's got some good stuff under her belt. Some good shows that she's made. So I think this show will look good. Let's see, which wrapped post-production in January. The large cast included Emily Watson, we know all these people. Another cramming the vast of immersive settings of Dune onto the small screen. We're building out our own time period. We're going to planets that the movies don't go to, and we're trying to tell a story that holds its own, but also suited to television. Yeah, so like I said, hold your expectations. This is not going to be a movie. This is a TV show, guys. And it's pretty much, this article is like based. I could have wrote this article, dude. I could write a better article than this. Yeah, see, that's Javico probably when he's a kid. I bet you that's a flashback. I bet you this is Javico when he's a kid. Wait, it says right here, Charlie Hodson as Pruitt Riches. Oh no, this is something else. Yeah. Oh, it's Riches, dude. Ah, and Princess Yanez. Oh, dude, Riches. That's yeah, Riches is a big player. One of the houses. You actually can play him in Dune Imperium. You can play the house, anyways. Yeah, so this is a separate marriage then. There's gonna be a lot of that marrying of bloodlines, marrying of factions to other houses. Like Salvador is married to a different daughter of a different house, and then he's robbing them, and she's kind of involved in it. And there's all kinds of stuff like that probably gonna go, and the truth sayers can catch it. They can find it out. So like basically, sire, she's perspiring. And there's gonna be a lot of that. They have like the scalpel surgeons that can do torture, and in one of the books, I think it's Mentats of Dune. There's a contest on interrogation, and it's basically like the Emperor's like, I want to see who's better, the truth sayer without actually having to touch anybody, or my torture scalpel guy. Like who's better? And the truth sayer, the Bene Gesserit, it's not Bene Gesserit. I'm just gonna call him that. She actually like can tell this guy has a secret, and like it's an awesome scene. I hope there's something like that in the show. But she basically, one of the Bene Gesserit sisters, she basically finds out that this freaking scalpel torture guy, he's torturing people because he wants to take their body parts and sell them for money. So he's basically a shiesty. He lets them die on purpose so he can like harvest their organs and stuff. It's pretty wild, but that's a whole subplot of the book. Yeah, I'm just revealing all the secrets here today, guys. Secrets of Dune. Secrets of Dune. That's actually a channel. Secrets of Dune. Which he's a big inspiration why I started this channel. Him, Quinn's Ideas, Nerd Cookies, Dune News, not net folks. Man, all those guys are inspired me to make this channel. I'm more of a goofiness of it all. I'm kind of in of ad-libbing, free speech, not free speech, but free kind of. I just talk and talk and talk on this show. Run circles around Dune stuff, hopefully. Let's see here. Dune. Okay, so that's a lesson prophecy looks to share. So serial plot around their long game, arranging marriages between powerful families as they eye power. However it goes for them, viewers know how it works out in Dune. So we kind of know what happens 10,000 years later, right? So, yeah. What is really driving them? Okay, we're gonna ask. So this was just a basic article talking about the basic plot of the show. So it's be mainly the Bene Gesserit meddling, right, in bloodlines and trying to push their political will behind the scenes. So next one, we'll get straight into this because I'm not gonna go much longer. Dune Prophecy Rotten Tomatoes score reveals ahead. So they're basically saying that it's at a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes based on 38 reviews. So I'm going to do a review on Rotten Tomatoes tomorrow evening after the show based on how I think. So 74, that's good for me. I think that means it's kind of where I'm thinking it's going to be a 6.5 or 7.5, a 7.5 show, right? There's some things that could put me over the top on this show. For instance, I'm more of a content guy. So basically, if they omit certain stuff, so if there's no mention of uh, Joseph Venport, or if there's no mention of Norma Senva, Joseph Venport, if they don't mention Vorian Atreides, I'm not saying the people got to be in the show, but if they don't acknowledge some of these key factors or names from the books, I'll be kind of that's gonna lower my score right there. Like I'm saying, if there's a scene here with an Atreides heir and he's talking about, oh, my great great grandfather Vorian Atreides, something like that, then I'll be happy, or whatever. If they don't mention Griffin Harkonnen, if they don't mention Salvador, Emperor Salvador, or Roderick, I'll be kind of upset. If they don't mention, I have some key things I want to see from the books into the show mentioned. I'm not saying that character has to show up, but I want them to mention that name or whatever, and then I'll be like, okay, you're gaining points on me here. You're gaining points. You know what I'm saying? So, because like I said, Dune Part 2 left out Thufir Hawat all the way. Boom, that kept that movie for me in 10 out of 10 for me. Was the Thufir Hawat not even being in there at all. So hey, and no Spacing Guild. Well, they're not really in Dune book that much, the Spacing Guild, but yeah, they're in there a little, not that much. That wasn't such a big. But Thufir Hawat not being in Dune Part 2 was like, what are they doing here with this? But anyways, so I guess what this article basically says, some people are saying it's not like the movies, and that's bothering them. And it's like, yeah, it's a TV show. It's not gonna be like the movie. So yeah, whatever. I'm not expecting Dune, Villeneuve freaking style graphics and all this stuff, because it's not a movie, right? So I mean, shows are never as good as the movies as far as cinematography. Dune Prophecy expired, but same thing. We've already seen that. 6 episodes we're gonna get. I'm guessing this episode 1 tomorrow. Some of these jerks have seen all 4. I've seen the first 4 episodes. So Valia and Tula, of course, originally come from Planet Lankavale. Valia, she sparked a scheme with her brother Griffin. She would join the Sisterhood. He would go off and try to track down Vorian Atreides to get revenge, because they want revenge on the Atreides family. So she has arterial motives to join the Sisterhood because she wants her revenge on the Atreides family. Later on, she ropes in her sister. She uses her sister, because she's like beautiful and all that when she's younger, to infiltrate the Atreides family on Caladan. And I wonder if they're going to show that flashback in here. I wonder. Curious to see if they show any of that. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what she does to the Atreides, Tula, because Tula plays a big key in revenge on the Atreides. Early on in the books, I should say. So that's fun. Emperor Javico, so his dad was the brother of the previous, well, he becomes the emperor, but Emperor Salvador is where it starts off as Sisterhood. His brother and his basically adjutant, or hand of the king, so to speak, is a Roderick, the father of Javico. So he's a little kid in the book. The emperor we're going to see in the show is a little tiny kid in the book, so he's older now, obviously. So 50 years later after the books, that's where the show's going to be. I've said it before. Travis Fimmel, we don't know exactly his deal, and then everybody else we'll have to guess and see when we see the show. There's going to be Atreides in there running around doing something. Who knows? I don't really care about the I like Dune better than Game of Thrones any day of the week, so I'll be biased on this. So I don't really care. That doesn't really tell us anything. Just that Rotten Tomatoes is giving that a 74%. We'll go over here to the TV line. TV line, Dune Prophecy review. HBO sci-fi spinoff is too dense to take flight. Right, so these guys don't like it. Dune is one of the most celebrated franchises in all. You guys aren't typing much in the chat. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments or anything. I've been yapping here for a while. I don't even know if anybody is still even watching me. So let me know. Here, let me see if I can get some more people in here. Throw me a super chat if you want. I got super chats, and you guys can do things. Send me a super chat. I never had one before. Let me see if I can copy this. And you can join a membership. Oh, let's see here. I'm trying to get some people. Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to see if I can get some people in here. Yay! I doubt they'll join. People never support YouTube, even your own close friends. It's weird, right? Isn't that weird? I got a couple people that watch. Viewers are not hidden. I want to see the viewers. Where's the viewers? Is this the viewers? No. How do I see the viewers? You can now reply on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook message. Yeah, I don't know. I used to be able to see the people watching. Oh, well. Oh, somebody watching. Welcome to the channel, whoever just jumped in. Yeah, so we're talking about... So this article was talking about... This guy's seen the first 4 episodes. It certainly looks and feels like Dune. Well, that's good. Minus the big, spectacular set pieces, and it's buoyed by a pair of sturdy lead performances. But the end result doesn't quite live up to the movies. Well, it's a TV show. It's too dense. I like that. Too cerebral. I like that. And too eager to copy Game of Thrones, which is stupid because Game of Thrones copied Dune. So this person is a moron who wrote this article. Game of Thrones copied the Dune books 100%. So that's stupid. I'm just gonna put it out there. You're dumb. So Dune is way better than Game of Thrones, honestly, at this point, especially the way that show ended. So a far-off prequel in the vein of how, I mean, everything copies Dune. Star Wars copies Dune. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Let's see here. Emily Watson stars as Valia Harkonnen. I've already explained that. I'm gonna explain that tomorrow night more. She and her sister Tula run a training academy for young women. Ooh, wonder what that is. Right, developing their skills as truthsayers, aka human lie detectors. Yep, that's the sisters. When a princess joins the school, which they kind of are they copying that from the first books, because Emperor Salvador and Roderick's sister, she joins the school early on in the Sisterhood of Dune book because she's having an affair with like the cook or something in the palace, or he's like whatever, he's just a helper. She's in love with the guy, and they find out, so they send him away, and then she's like fighting back so much about it, they send her to the Sisterhood. She takes her name is God dang it, I'm reading the books right now. She's still in the book. She makes it all the way through all 3 books. She freaking, the sister of the emperor at that time, she takes the freaking poison without any training or being to a level, and it jacks her up. She doesn't die from it, but it basically fries her brain, so then she can't control any of the voices in her head. She gets kind of like lobotomized in a weird way, so she's just like mumbling all the voices in her head and all blah 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 blah, and freaking they eventually send her to the Mentat school under Gil Brothas, who's hiding as, you know, an escaped slave, but he has age. He's still young looking because he was a life extension by Erasmus, the AI, and freaking he's been hiding. Started the Mentat school. He puts aging makeup on his face so he looks older, and then they send the Emperor's sister there because she got fried from the poison to try to fix her brain, and then that sounds like what they're gonna do here. When a princess joins the school, Valia sees an opportunity to get a sister on the throne, but that ambition draws her into a fierce power struggle that spans planets and generations. Oh, so they're gonna do something a little different there. Dune Prophecy does get off to a nice head start because of all the world building has been done for them already by the movies, and the sets and costumes are indeed impeccable. We do get stray mention of Spice, Arrakis, and Fremen here and there, but the action of Dune Prophecy is set a world apart from the movies. It's more like talk than action. Well, yeah, really, and Dune's not... Dude, the action in the Dune movies doesn't exist in the books. That's the thing that kills me about these people writing these articles. This tells me they didn't ever read the books. Dude, remember the Battle of Arrakis in the movie, Dune Part 1? Doesn't happen. It happens, but it's not mentioned. They literally, Duke Atreides in the book gets freaking zapped by the dart by Dr. Yui, and then he essentially, Jessica wakes up like drugged. They're all drugged, and they've already taken over the city. There's no battle scene in the book. They just roll right through and take them over in like a couple minutes, essentially. Well, there's no big battle scene like in the movies. So they need to take this kind of comments and then shove it, honestly, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's Denis Villeneuve added the action into the movies that didn't exist. Like they don't know what the hell they're talking about. It almost seems like the direct... We'll find out tomorrow, but it almost seems like the makers of the show are like really following the books more in a weird way from everything I've read. We'll see. I could be wrong. It could just be sucky. Game of Thrones. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had a phone call. Yeah, so, yeah. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So this guy didn't like it. He said it's too smart for him. So he's dumb. Let's go to the next, It's how Dune Prophecy fits in the Dune movie timeline. Oh, I'm not reading all this, guys. I already told you guys this one. So let's go real quick. I made a video. Go check out my YouTube channel. I had dropped a video today talking about Dune Awakening, the video game. I went over the Community Net Signal number 3, their latest little blog update. I just talked about the stuff they've been doing this year, the cons, Brazil, San Diego, and Tokyo. Which, hey, we had some action out there in Tokyo. But the infamous popcorn machine in Brazil. Yeah, so they covered, and then there really was nothing revealed in this, honestly, in this community. Just go watch my video. Couple things, but it was honestly very... The last one was better, number 2. They answered a few questions, and you can tell they didn't put much effort into this one. So, sorry to say, hey, Funcom, you gotta step up. You gotta give it something. But, I mean, the game's in an NDA test, post beta right now, so that's all we know. That's all we know. And then finally, the Gizmodo ran a cool, like, Arrakis home with this gorgeous new Dune poster. So Martin Aslan has teamed up with Coda to give Denis Villeneuve's film a brand new look. So there's a cool poster, which I'm probably gonna go buy, guys, because I buy everything Dune. A cool poster for Dune that they released, and I got a bunch of Dune stuff. So is there 2 different posters? I kind of like this one better, kind of more artsy. Yeah, so there's some new posters out there. Yep, and oh, $65. Wait, part 1 is an inch screen print and an edition of 300 that goes on sale Friday at 1. $65. Oh shoot! So I gotta buy this thing. Like, are they still selling any? I'm gonna open it up real quick. Oh, it's sold out. Damn it! Never mind, folks. It is sold out. Well, that sucks. Oh man, I didn't even know about that. Well, never mind. It's sold out. So we can disregard this. Or maybe they'll make more. I think he said there's only going to be 300. edition size 300. Yeah. Oh well. So I didn't get a special edition of that, but oh well. I got other better stuff like my Dune cards. So well, we missed out on that one, everyone. I guess I should have been paying more attention. Yeah. So that's about it for this episode today. I gotta go. I got kids screaming. I got wives trying to chase kids around and get them in bed. Things like that. So I'm gonna have to cut the stream short. So I didn't get any new people into my stream, nobody commenting, so yeah, I guess that's it. No one's still commenting, so I'm probably end the stream right now. I've been going for an hour and 25 minutes, so I will see you guys tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. I'm going live with a mini live stream tomorrow night, a pre-show discussion on Dune Prophecy, so make sure to tune back in for that, and then a post show as well. So, and I'll post that on my YouTube feed, and then other than that, thank you for watching today's live stream, and I will see you guys later.
It's prophecy, fear the mind that's set free in the shadows, destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find in the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the quays at Hadoran, rising from the dust and bound. Dreams to thee, Bene Gesserit's prophecy. Fear the mind that's set free in the shadows, destiny. Shifting sands are fate to find in the desert heat we leave behind. Promise of the quays at Hadoran, rising from the dust and bound. Beneath twin suns on Arrakis land, firm and whispers in the wind so grand. Melange flows through every hand. Shai Hulud rules the desert sand. Paul's visions, good times hold. He who sees where futures unfold. Blue within blue eyes so bold. Destinies in spice foretold. Shifting sands are fate.